Hey guys, what if I told you that investing just 1000 rupees a month today could grow into lakhs over the next 5 to 10 years? Sounds exciting, right? Well, that's the power of long term mutual funds. But here's the thing, not all mutual funds are created equal, and some can make you rich while others might just disappoint over the years to come. So, in this video, I'm going to share the top 5 mutual funds in India for long term wealth creation and funds that have consistently delivered strong returns and are perfect for building your future. And whether you are a beginner or a seasoned investor, this is your perfect guide to picking the best funds for your portfolio. And before we get into the list, let's quickly understand what makes a mutual fund a good long term investment. You want to look at factors like past performance and risk adjusted returns, which is how much return you're getting for the risk you're taking, and expense ratio, how much the fund charges you to manage your money, and the fund manager's expertise. I've done all the hard work for you, so let's get straight into the funds. Now let's break them down one by one. Number one, Parikh Flexi Cap Fund. Now this fund is a top performer and it's a flexi cap fund, which means it invests in companies of all sizes, big, medium, and small, and it even has some international stocks, so your money is spread across different markets. And over the last 5 years, it has given an annual return of 24.81%, which is awesome. Now, the Sharpe ratio, which is a measure of risk adjusted returns, is 1.22, which means it's giving you good returns without taking too much risk. And the expense ratio is just 0.63%, which is very low compared to other funds. Now, this means more of your money is working for you instead of going into fees. And this fund is managed by Rajiv Thakur and his team, who are known for their smart stock picking skills. And the only thing to keep in mind is that the minimum SIP is 3000 rupees, so it's better suited for those who can invest a bit more in terms of monthly SIP. Now, number two is ICICI Prudential Bluechip Fund. Now, this is a large cap fund, which means it invests in big, well established companies like Reliance, HDFC Bank, and Infosys. Now, these companies are stable and less risky compared to smaller companies. And over the last 5 years, this fund has given an annual return of 18.47%, which is pretty good for a large cap fund. Now, the Sharpe ratio is 0.48, which means it's managing risk quite well. And the expense ratio is 0.91%, which is slightly higher than some other funds, but it's still reasonable. And the best part is you can start with a minimum SIP of just 100 rupees, so it's perfect for beginners as well. Now, this fund is managed by Anish Tawakle and Vaibhav Dusad, who have a solid track record. And if you're looking for stability with decent returns, this is a very good option. Now, moving to our third fund, which is Kotak Flexi Cap Fund. This is another flexi cap fund that invests in companies of all sizes. And over the last 5 years, this fund has given an annual return of 15.72%, which is solid. And the Sharpe ratio is 0.49, meaning it's giving you good returns for the risk you're taking. And the expense ratio is just 0.62%, which is very low. And this means more of your money is being invested instead of going into fees. And this fund is managed by Harsha Upadhyaya, who's known for his disciplined approach to investing. And the minimum SIP for this fund is just 100 rupees again, so it's a great option for those who want to start small but still want a diversified portfolio. Now, moving on to our fourth fund, which is SBI Bluechip Fund. This is another large cap fund, so it invests in big and stable companies. And over the last 5 years, this fund has given an annual return of 16.06%, which is quite impressive. And the Sharpe ratio is 0.5, meaning it's managing risk well. And the expense ratio is 0.81%, which is reasonable for a large cap fund. And this fund is managed by Saurabh Pant, who has a strong track record again. And the only thing to note is that the minimum SIP for this fund is 5000 rupees, so it's better suited for those who can invest a bit more monthly. And if you're looking for a reliable fund with steady growth, this is a great option. Now, moving on to our last but definitely not the least, we have ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund. This is a value fund, which means it focuses on buying undervalued stocks, basically stocks that are priced lower than they should be. And over the last 5 years, it has given an annual return of 24.75%, which is amazing. And the Sharpe ratio is 0.76, meaning it's giving you good returns for the risk you're taking. And the expense ratio is 1.06%, which is slightly higher than other funds, but the returns this is giving more than make up for it. Now, this fund is managed by Shankaran Narayan, who's a top fund manager in the world of value investing. And the minimum SIP for this fund is 5000 rupees again, and it's better suited for those who can invest a bit more monthly. Now, if you're looking for a fund that focuses on undervalued stocks with high growth potential, this is a perfect option. Now, before you go ahead and start investing, here are a few quick tips. Number one, start with a SIP. It's a disciplined way to invest and it reduces the impact of market ups and downs. Now, number two, diversify. Don't put all your money into one fund, spread it across different types of funds. And number three, check the expense ratio. Lower expenses mean more of your money is being invested rather than going into fees. Number four, stay invested. Mutual funds are a long-term game and don't panic during market downturns. And that's all for this video, guys. These are the top long-term mutual funds in India for 2025, and I hope this video was helpful and gave you some clarity. And if you found it useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more such videos. And let's grow our wealth together. See you in the next one.